Good evening, everyone, from wherever you're watching around the world, or in Australia, or New Zealand, or wherever else you are. Welcome to our feature race for Apex Point Racing League, the first one this season, actually, for season six. In the comms box tonight, I've actually got Anthony joining me. Hello, Anthony.
Evening, and good evening, everybody who are watching.
It might be morning somewhere where some people are. You never know. Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're here tonight for our first feature race of the season, featuring the Pro Series drivers. And it's been a little while, I think, since we last featured the Pro Series Pro Division drivers. That'll be a bit of a mouthful to share tonight, but the grid has grown compared to last season, so we're seeing higher average attendances and around the 12 to 13 drivers per week, which is good to see. And we've got a big variety of drivers tonight. A few of them joining from the development series last season, including the former development series um, some former development series winners and also Pro Am series winners and things like that. So we've got a good variety of drivers here, but this is the Pro Division set of drivers, so the fastest that Apex Point Racing League have to offer, the ones with arguably some of the most time on the track and time around laps and things like that. But yeah, good variety of drivers, so it'll be a great one to watch tonight. Um, so we are racing at Interlagos for round two of this series. So every Group Three racer and division has raced on this circuit this week. So we've had four divisions, averaging around 50 drivers across all the four divisions, and we have, I think it is about 13 drivers or so joining us tonight in the Pro division. So should be a good one. Just to go through a couple of little race details to bring everyone up to speed as to what we're expecting tonight. So it's a 29 lap race. We have tyre wear on 3 times, fuel wear on 5 times. The refueling rate is set to a relatively rapid 6 litres per second. And for the Pro Series drivers this week, it was the medium tyre that was mandatory. Um, we've got a good variety of drivers. Just set the grid so that everyone knows where we are placed for the start of the race tonight. So starting in P1, we have Achilles, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's currently our not championship leader, but the series leader in the Pro division. So Achilles starting in P1, followed closely by Jobby, Durags, GT Bowers, Supra, Levenspiel, Flux Wildly, Badge or GTO Mad, Speed Racer, Tex, M Sports 180, SPE 73, and X Big Rig X. So, yeah, it should be a good one tonight. It is a bit of a challenging circuit, a lot of undulation, and not really a whole lot of time to stop and really, take stock of the racing around you and have a breather, except for that long straight down the back. I don't know what you think about this circuit, Anthony. I find it's a bit of an Achilles heel for me. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I have huge respect for it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I actually really do enjoy this track actually a lot. I can't remember what actually ingrained that in my core memories, but whenever I think of Gran Turismo and I think of like fun races that I've ever had, they're always been on this track. A bit like Suzuka, which I find is I really enjoy just for Sector One through those S's where a lot of people tend to struggle. This is similar in a sense where I believe Sector 2 is quite, essy, and
Mm-hmm.
those corners are, although they look simple, they're actually quite complex to make them fast. So having the right approach, trail braking into many of them, and then easing on the throttle rather than stepping on it is the key here. And we might see some mistakes where people have put too much throttle in on the second of those turns in Sector 2, where the car will get too much rotation and end up the car might lose, hers might lose position. So that
Mm.
tends to happen a lot. But for myself personally, I always struggle through turn one and two.
Mm. Yep.
Um, Getting that right is paramount to the run on that fast left-hander where you just foot flat to the floor
Mm.
and rushing into that braking zone. So if you're making a mistake there, you're going to be getting heat from the car behind without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's going to be a good a good track to see the difference in terms of like types of cars and how they run. So there's a variety of cars with turbos. Some are naturally aspirated, so think your V8 AMGs and things like that. I personally find turbo cars a bit of a handful when it comes to slow to medium speed corners, and there are a lot of them here tonight. My gut feel says that an MR car would do exceptionally well here, just because it loves that flow and that sort of undulating style of racetrack, and especially a naturally aspirated MR or mid-rear race car. I think it would go a long way tonight, and I think there are maybe a couple, if not, I'm pretty sure I saw a Ferrari from memory when I was looking at the starting grid. There's a McLaren as well, actually, as I'm just going through my qualifying notes from earlier as well. But there's Jobby in the Ferrari, Supra in the McLaren, which is a bit of an oxymoron when you think about that. And got a big variety of other cars. A lot of Lexuses tonight, a couple of BMWs as well. So should be a good and diverse field of drivers. But hello to everyone joining. Sorry, we were just kicking off the live stream and reading through our notes together, so apologies to anyone that's jumped in and said hello. Have seen some people coming through. I'll be trying to keep up with the chat, same with Anthony as well. We'll be reading your comments and chuck any questions in along the way, and we can have a chat as we go. But before we jump into the start of the race, just wanted to do a quick shout out to our partner Image Digital, who without them we wouldn't be able to support the league and run it the way that we would like to run it in terms of what they provide for us as a partner. So as I'm sure all of you are aware, Image Digital are an Australian clothing manufacturer that specialises in overall printed apparel, including sports, corporate, government, clubs, fashion and more, and their priority is quality above all else. And I think we've been able to see that firsthand with our merch store, which has been opened via Image Digital. So if you're interested in getting yourself some Apex Point Racing League merch, the website is live. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, polos, bar mats, stubby holders, bumper stickers. We've got lots and lots of things that you can choose to support your league here in Apex Point Racing League, and all of that has been manufactured right here in Australia by Image Digital, and the quality has been top notch. We've sent out our first batch of winners shirts to the series winners from last season, and they've been slowly trickling through to the relevant parties, and they seem to be really enjoying the quality and what they've been getting there. So thanks again to Image Digital. Just remember, whether you need a custom garment or thousands of units in a wide range of sizes and colorways, Image Digital will always work with you to achieve your desired result. And they're a proud supporter of Apex Point Racing League. They've been behind the scenes for a long time, but they've come on board with us since the sort of the end of last year, start of this year, and we couldn't be happier with with the support that they're showing. So yes, now with all formalities out of the way, we may kick into starting the live stream of the race itself. It's a bit of a timing thing that Anthony and I need to do to make sure that we're both looking from the same live stream here. So I'm going to hover over the replay button.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I think I might pop that on. I might ride towards the backs here with Tex in the middle of the pack. Tex, our Brazilian representative at Interlagos. Expect big things from him tonight, but we'll see how he fares. They're off and underway at Interlagos. 1 lap of 29. That does feel like quite a long way away, that end lap there, but I'm sure it'll be a good race nonetheless. Tex heading down. There's actually a McLaren off in the distance there that's run wide. Is that
Supra has run wide, touched the outside grass.
And actually, who did he barge into just then? The Lexus of, I think, Speed Racer there. We might just ride on board in Tex's point of view. So Supra had a little bit of an off there in the McLaren. Tex is right behind him at the moment. Might be sensing the opportunity for an overtake here. Not quite. I think they're just looking to get themselves all settled into a rhythm here. And yeah, looks like Supra's
good
got
call
those.
from Tex to bail on that one.
Get those early jitters out of the way, settle into a
exactly
flow.
Right.
Heavy damage is on for anyone that is unaware. We might just jump to the front of the field here to see Achilles or M. Donaldson. Jobby close behind him, actually looking to make a move on Achilles on the outside there in the Ferrari. So the mid-rear car coming up clutch. Don't think that move will work around the outside there, but he's got the switchback. Yep, that's right. Some good side-by-side racing from P1 and P2 here. Back into single file, a little bit of latency jitters from Achilles, but nothing too challenging for drivers to work around. And Durags is actually not too far behind them as well. Durags, this is technically his first race of the season, missed round 1, but is back for round 2, and everyone who has raced him in the previous Pro Division knows that he's a strong contender to be an outright series winner. He's won this before, so I think a few of them would have been happy to not see him present for round 1, but a little bit scared to see him in round 2, but let's see how he fares tonight.
And he also is running the wrong banner, but we'll let that one slide for his first race.
Yep. Get a one slap on the wrist warning. The old fashioned. He's got the retro Apex banner on the window there.
Yes.
And the retro number plate as well. But behind him actually is Bowers fending a move from Levenspiel. Levenspiel actually gets up at the inside. They're side by side through turn 3, I think it is technically. Levenspiel does get the move done. Levenspiel hasn't won a series yet here, but has, I think, won a race. One race he popped into at Road Atlanta and just absolutely blew everyone out of the park. So if he becomes more of a regular attendee, I think a few of the Pro Division drivers will be very happy if he takes a sick day in the future. But Levenspiel carrying on there, and Bowers following behind.
So currently right now the lead 2 cars being Donaldson, Achilles and Yobi are currently running the medium tyre. So Drags on the soft tyre needs to really get his work done pretty quick, otherwise you might be putting too much wear on him and not making him last as long. So he's not going to really get the benefit of the soft tyre at this stage.
No, of course not, yeah. I might just ask the community in the live stream here, just give us a quick thumbs up or all good if our sound levels are good, because we're obviously hearing the race cars in our commentary as well. So if you need the volume of us up a bit more or the game a bit down, just let us know and we can adjust that. But that explains your point earlier, Anthony, about Durags being able to make those moves on the drivers with the soft compound tyre. So yeah, he looks like he should be making it through pretty soon before they start to go off. Thanks gents for the thumbs up on the audio levels, appreciate that.
Just a quick shout out, thanks to Red Bearsy, I think it was, who just made a $50 donation to our
thank you
to our league.
Thank you, Red Bearsy.
Support us channel. You'll be added to the, or if you've already made a donation, it will be attributed to your tally in the beneficiaries.
Yep.
Channel.
Yeah, we appreciate that, guys, and you know, everyone's got different things on in their life, and you know, we're not asking everyone to give a donation, just whatever you can if you can. If you can't, that's totally fine as well. But everything we do goes back into the community in the form of like helping to you know, organise giveaways for winners, you know, purchasing server slots in ACC, and yeah, just little improvements on our server to make it the best it can be. So thank you again. But we digress. As Durags, it's actually sort of like in the middle between Achilles and Bowers. Yeah, here. Exactly. Yeah.
It looks like he's making that move stick, but we'll see if the Viper here can have the legs to give it back at the end of this straight.
They're really jostling here.
Levenspiel has just entered into the battle here as well in another.
Oh yeah, I can just hear the turbo in the BMW in the background, and I switched to him. It's 2 by 2.
Has just gone fastest.
Big Rig's just taken that as well. So Achilles has gone from, well, effectively pole position down into 4th at the moment, but there is a tyre difference.
He seems to be having issues right now. This is not great.
Good.
He's having.
Yeah. I think that's up.
Lag.
Up. Okay. I think Achilles might be out of the building here.
Is super unfortunate for the series leader at the moment.
Yeah, that's.
So there is one drop round, fortunately for him. So hopefully he gets that sorted out for the next rounds.
Sorry about that. On-screen jittering there, but it looks like Achilles has left the building. Unfortunate to have a disconnect in any race, but unfortunately this is just the reality of online sim racing. But that's as good as the time as ever to do a quick recap of where everything's at, and it looks like the field's pretty closely packed together. So we've got the Rags in P1 at the moment, and I think, Anthony, you were saying he was on the soft compound tyre.
He needs to be there, yes.
Yes. Is Levenspiel also on the soft compound?
He's running the medium tyre at the
moment, interesting.
So if he plays his cards right and just sticks in the slip and just takes the advantage here, and tries to manage that, he'll do very well out of that.
Of course, you wouldn't know that sitting in the car, right? You'd think he'd just be competing on the same tyre, but looking back at that from a commentator's perspective, you'd be pretty happy with that. So
I
Durag
guess if
actually.
I was, I
Yeah,
guess
go
if
on.
I was in the car right now, I would be looking at who's setting the fastest lap time. So Durag's
Yep.
is setting the fastest lap times as well as Big Rig. Those guys are pretty good against me on soft tyres. I obviously know, looking through here, little cheat sheet, looking at the Big Rig and Durag's are the only two cars running the soft compound for the start of the race.
Yep. All right. So Levenspiel in P2, Jobby in P3 in the Ferrari. Then we have Bowers or GT Bowers or Bowers GT or not Bowers or G Pro Bowers, GT Bowers in P4 there. So yeah, this would be his first race running new equipment. He picked up a sponsorship from Logitech the other day by giving them his hard-earned cash. So he's running the G Pro.
No way.
That's
I wonder
it.
if Raz got a kickback off of that.
Yes, use code RAZ at checkout for every G Pro purchase. Supra, after that little kerfuffle at turn 1, seems to be settling in quite nicely into the race. He's a strong contender here in the Pro division. Won a lot of races last season and seems to be representing the McLaren livery of, I can only assume, Oscar Piastri rather than Lando Norris. So Supra in P5. We have, well, the game says the big rig, but we've got two big rigs, so we might need to make a bit of clarification here.
Yep.
This one is actually SPE_73. So with Fatson Racing, so he actually drives in a team with his son Foo Fighter as well. Foo is in the lower division. Reese or Flux Wildly Uncut is in P7 at the moment, looking to size up a move onto SPE 73, but we'll catch up on that later. Speed Racer in the Lexus P8 at the moment. Big Rig in the other Lexus. He's actually making good ground here at the moment, up into P9. The Brazilian local Tex is in P10 in the AMG. Flux's teammate M Sports 180 is in P11. And at the back of the field at the moment is Badge in the Genesis, and I feel like this track would be such a struggle on the Genesis. It would just be really challenging.
So Badge, which we missed earlier, I believe it was lap 2 or so, did exactly what I said would be a situation for a lot of drivers, where coming through those technical corners and putting the overpower on turn 8, I think turn 8, and he has lost control, essentially putting himself at the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's a challenging car to drive. I think you remember it from a couple of seasons back.
Yeah, winning a race and then it just turned around. What should have been an easy braking zone, and
maybe it was a bit more complicated. Yep, exactly.
I gave away the win.
Catching back up with the Rags, has got a bit of daylight in between himself and Levenspiel at the moment. Actually, there's a car off at turn 1. Who was that? Supra again in the same corner. I just saw on the map and a bit of tyre screeching in the background. Yeah, Supra in turn 1 are not a match made in heaven this race, unfortunately, but hopefully, I mean, it is lap 7, so you'd hope the jitters would settle down. GTO Mad just says there that he's off in the race. He had a electric shock of pain in his left hand. He's been dealing with an injury, so that explains probably the slight loss of control there, which is unfortunate. But appreciate Badge showing up for all the races, even through the pain. Obviously, life always comes first, but Badge is a key member of our community, hosting Monday Night's Practice Academy and putting in his hard-earned time and energies into preparing, all the different points of discussion about race strategies and helping other drivers get better with their skills. So if you're racing with us at Apex Point Racing League and looking to improve your skill sets, not just at each track, but also like with overtaking, defending, his mind's the one to pick. So join our sessions on Monday night.
Yeah, big thanks to all the guys that donate their time to us to help these events run as smoothly as they do. And if there's anybody in there that's watching and wants to get involved, whether it be backup hosting, moderating, or what we really need is steward help, then reach out to us. We're happy to induct as we get our first car into the pits, which is Supra in the McLaren.
Interestingly, he was on the medium tyre, so I wonder if he had damage.
Yes. Yes, I don't think he has damage from what I can see.
Because I wouldn't think that those medium tyres would be off by now, and he's not low on fuel, so
They are definitely not off, no.
maybe he's just doing that. Actually, it could be just the bare minimum on the slower compound tyre, so he may be looking at running softs, double stint softs all the way to the end. So we'll see how that fares. But yeah, just to build on your point, yeah, anyone interested in, joining and getting involved in the behind the scenes stuff, and no one needs to have experience in any sort of particular areas and things like that. It's just whether you're passionate about taking photos, or maybe you really have a knack for looking at racing incidents and analysing them and working with the stewards groups and things like that, or maybe you'd like to help out and train other people and things like that. We welcome everyone, so just reach out to either of us in the community, and yeah, we'll definitely find a place for you, no problems whatsoever. But we digress. So Supra's in the pits, he's right at the back there. Who's just ahead of him? Badge is probably still a little bit further back, struggling with that pain he's dealing with, sort of driving through the pain, doing the best that he can.
Supra has done the soft tyre change, so he is going to be driving in clean air, which is a smart move for him.
I expect the fastest lap for him. Yeah, he's very, very quick with fastest laps.
Yeah. So he must have been spending a lot of his time practicing with the soft compound rather than the medium compound, and overdriving it essentially in turn one, hitting those soft compound braking points, I'd say. So let's hope that's what it is, and he pulls it back in and reins them in.
So the Rags' lap times have been slowly dropping into the mid 33s, high 33s now. Levenspiel has been lapping in that area there, so makes clear sense now as to why that gap between the Rags and Levenspiel has closed down a bit. Jobby's doing a pretty good job keeping pace, but it looks like G Pro Bowers is not too far behind, so I imagine there may be a little bit of battling going on here shortly between these two. And then towards the back there's probably a group of 5 or 6 cars behind them, all within 2 to 3 seconds. So yes, that'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. But I think if I'm just to pull up the notes from our race strategist, Flux, appreciate you, Flux, for everything you do. He gave us a little bit of an insight ahead of tonight's race about potential strategies. So it's really a tyre and fuel dependent race, but it can go two-stop either ways. It looks like Jobby was looking like he's coming in, he's not. But essentially, due to the high fuel multiplier, so the burn rate of the fuel is at 5 times fuel, it will be a two-stop race, because even with the long pit time, a one-stop is not really feasible. But the variables for this race will be around tyre selection, so whether a driver runs soft medium, or medium soft, and how well they manage their tyres. So that sort of lines up with Supra running the medium for a short stint, so he's probably looking to do 2 soft stints to get him through to the end.
So the way I'm looking at it at the moment, it looks like the soft tyres are already 50% done, especially on the right hand side. They are even more so cooked on Durags, whereas Levenspiel's only just touching on a third of his tyre wear, so he can obviously keep going.
But interestingly, you won't want
at the same pace.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, your fuel to contend with, I think we're looking at an average of 11 laps on a full tank of fuel. That is so, and also you don't necessarily. It's really interesting. So this would go for anyone racing in future rounds with us. Whenever the mandatory tyres, like one of the more difficult ones, so say the medium's not too bad, but thinking more the hard tyre, you wouldn't necessarily want to run the hard tyre until you run out of fuel. You might be better off finding the bare minimum you need to run in terms of time, as Durags actually goes into the pits, and then just sticking with that. So as a result of that, Levenspiel takes the provisional lead of the race. Jobby's in P2, Bowers in P3, Durags is in the pits. Looks like Flux is still going around at the moment in P5, so I'm assuming he would be on the medium tyre. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. Speed Racer and Big Rig behind them as well, and then Tex, presuming local.
All medium tyres apart from Durags. Durags is going to come out, I'd say.
M Sports is in the pits too.
Yep.
So he's done his dash on the mandatory tyre. Durags hasn't done his dash on the mandatory tyre tonight, so we'll see what he gets on as he leaves here. He's going on the medium, cool, and just be crucial that he gets ahead of Supra, which is coming around turn 2 at the moment. It's going to be close between them, but I imagine Supra could actually have a bit of a run here on...
Yes.
Oh, here we go, yep, coming out of the
Drags
pits.
will be defending the inside for sure.
And I think with...
Just not close enough.
Supra with the soft tyre though, and you know, Durag's on the cold medium, there may be, you know, a swap of position here, so we'll keep an eye on that, but we might just jump to the front of the field. 11 Spill makes his way around onto the main straight. Now, Shredder just said 11 laps of fuel is sort of the expected amount on a full tank. And it looks like that's the case for 11 Spill. Jobby can push for 12 it seems, and so can Bowers, but the Lexus is exceptional on fuel, isn't it?
Yes,
Such a
correct.
good car on fuel, so I could go a little bit longer. We had a bit of a message there, I think, from Flux in the chat, if you might want to pull that up, Anthony, because it sort of got cut off on my end, but might show a little bit of an insight about this race that we might not have been aware of.
Okay, yep.
It was in the YouTube chat, sorry, I should have clarified.
Yep. Yeah, so it's just talking about the recent BOP change completely changed the dynamics of this race and what strategies are possible. So he's obviously set this up on the old, what would you call, update?
Yeah.
So since the update's come out, it's actually changed how this race was actually designed in his mind, I think what he's saying. But still a nice one in any case.
Got 11 Spill coming out of the pits. Durags, Supra's already got in front of Durags there, but they're all coming out together here. And 11 Spill slots in behind them, but I imagine he would be on the soft compound tyre, so he's really weaving to warm those up. And Durags is the medium in the soft bread sandwich, it looks like. So
that's correct.
I imagine Durags might go back another position here, but yeah, we missed that on that last lap, so Supra has gotten past Durags. Obviously that compound difference is what's making it all happen, but it's really cool. If you're looking at the track map in the top right hand corner there, you can see all these different battles forming, which is really nice to see. However, well, another interesting point, Jobby and Bowers are on 13 laps of fuel.
Yes. So
Brando just
saving
wrote
that fuel.
the meat in the soft PP sandwich. Okay. So the medium in the soft sandwich.
Badge has picked up damage as well. He's continuing to drive his strategy rather than pit and I guess pivot.
Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you can see the time difference there. So yeah, just probably needs to take it a little bit easy. It's probably at that point of like getting kind of close to where you need to come in, so you may need to hold on. Might just check in with the Rags in this little battle pack here. Yep, 11 Spill's right on the back of him heading through turn 1. I imagine 11 Spill should get the move done here with the slipstream in the same car.
His liveries are looking fantastic, might you say?
Except for the ones that aren't to regulation. Bad people, bad. Everyone else is looking. Everyone else is looking good.
Only one car. I think 11 Spills.
No, 2 cars. Yeah, 2 cars.
Yeah.
These 2 lovely, you know, fluoro opposite BMWs.
Oh, it's those 2 together as well.
Yeah,
oh, that's great. What we want to be watching on our stream, they haven't got the decals we need.
That's okay. I'll accept donations later for giving them enough airtime. SPE 73 still trucking along. I believe he has done his pit stop, judging by the time there. Just runs a little bit wide. Again, the Genesis on a track like this is very, very challenging to manoeuvre through, but doing the best that he can. Tex is actually under a bit of pressure here from M Sports. I do like
11 Spill and Durags in the same team?
I don't believe so. Durags is one of the NRG crew. Durags is NRG Spark Racing, and 11 Spill, as far as I'm aware, is a privateer.
Oh, they're just running the same livery, but just different colour codes.
Yep, that's exactly right. So Tex and M Sports got a little bit of life between them at the moment. I might ask you for some insights here. Has Jobby or Bowers pit yet? I don't think so.
I don't. Oh, no.
Okay.
Jobby will be in this lap, and Bowers will be in this lap. And a prediction based on fuel, their tyres, both being medium, could continue on. They've done a great job on looking after their tyres.
That's interesting because they're almost halfway at this stage, so you're saying they could potentially not change and just carry on. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, chuck on some mediums again and do another...
another long stint. Yeah.
Yeah, another long stint and just do one lap on the softs.
Jobby's going round again.
He's going around again.
And Bowers is going around again. I think they're making they're aiming for that midpoint of the race. So now they've officially reached at least half distance. So if they come in this lap and get a full tank of fuel and a new set of tyres, they
get the
that's all.
The soft tyres. Yeah, all at the end.
Oh no, they might chuck on the mediums, I reckon, because you don't need to use the softs. You just have to use the mediums. Just do a one stop.
Yeah, if I was in the Lexus, that's what I would be doing.
I think there's a few people, because if you look at it, for example, so Jobby is going through, finishing turn 4 at the moment, and
yeah, we've got
like Super and Lebenspiel, they're just starting their laps, so it's a huge time loss in the pits. So if you can do one less stop than your competitors, you can just completely
get them. Big chunk of them doing that.
Actually, I think from about
first to fifth.
Yeah, Big Rig through to Jobby, they're all angle. So we should expect a bit of momentum in the pits at the moment.
So if they just come in now, I think that was what his strategy was.
Yep, so that sort of worked out well in terms of the damage timing of the cars just being stationary at the moment while the damage is being repaired. It must have been fuel as well, sorry, I do apologise for that. There must have been a big amount of damage there, so just getting that repaired too, so...
Yeah, I think it was front and right hand damage.
There you go, you can hear that
right now.
Yep, you can hear that being fixed. So that might not necessarily be the end of his race, because if he's just doing one stop, he should be okay. Alright, as expected, Jobby's in.
Comes to Ferrari beautifully.
And the Lexus of G Pro Bowers, use code RASMAS for 5% off. And I wonder if everyone else is coming through. Yep, they're all following each other in. So 1 to 5 has come through. Now this will be interesting. They're all about on the same fuel, so like 0 to 1% fuel left.
Yeah.
But where Jobby will come out...
Getting exciting, guys.
I think it's going to be a bit crazy. I would imagine the soft compound runners would be ahead of them. Oh, because it is Supra. I've just accidentally paused my replay very quickly.
Only for a second. So I already done that. So now we've caught up. That's using the.
We don't make mistakes. We just have happy. Yeah, I use that too as well. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents.
That's it.
So yep, you can see the cars in the distance there coming out of the pit lane as the other drivers are coming through. So there's actually a move. Tex and Big Rig, sorry. Or SPE 73. Tex is looking to make a move here, but yeah, amongst all that. Bowers has a 3-second penalty. He must have cut the pit entry.
Oh no.
Oh no, and he's going to be under pressure from the cars behind. Tex actually making a move on SPE 73 up on the inside of turn 3. Looks like he might have that done. Big. I keep saying Big Rig. Yeah, keep looking for the switchback there.
Let's just call him Big Rig, and we'll call the other Big Rig
X-Big Rig. Yep, sounds good to me.
Like, he's the old Big Rig and this is the new Big Rig.
Yes, that's correct, yes. Well, looks like Tex has gotten ahead there. Looks like M Sports is actually thinking about it as well. I love this track. I know I said I don't like it, but I love it in the way that if you're on the outside for one turn, you're then suddenly on the inside for the next and vice versa. And it's like 5 or 6 turns in a row. And you can just almost go side by side the whole way. So, yeah.
And a lot of these corners really need you to have that, like I was talking about earlier, that throttle control on the exit. And having that kind of pressure really separates the boys from the men in regards to having the wherewithal to keep that throttle position.
Sorry to interrupt. I was wondering why Bowers was running slow. He was just serving his penalty there. So, kind of worked out well. He dropped back there a little bit. M Sports and Big Rig going side by side into turn 1. Let's see how this works out with a little bit of latency. not too bad. Slots in right behind. Knowing the Supra, I should get a good run on the Genesis here. And yes, as DC said in the chat, every time you hear the word G Pro Bowers, you have to drink.
I guess we can say Volvo as much as we like now.
That's
the game's
right.
Done.
That word is clear off the register at the moment. But might just jump ahead to Super 11 Spiel and Durags. So Supra and 11 Spiel initially got ahead of Durags, obviously with the compound difference, but I would feel like, and you can confirm this for me, Anthony, because you have the data, I would feel like Supra and Levenspiel's tyres would be hurting a bit. Supra more so than Levenspiel, because he's been on them
way more than Levenspiel. Yeah, yep. Supra is going to be in any moment now. If he goes up for another lap, Levenspiel's going to be right on him. But yeah, his tyres are pretty much
He did get that fastest lap as sort of anticipated, so he's got one bonus point in the bag for now. He's hugging the inside line here. He's not going into the pits, so he's looking to push on a little bit further, but...
So if Levenspiel doesn't make a mistake, he'll be right on him.
So these guys...
about a dramatic difference in the tyre...
of course,
conditions here.
Yeah, just looking at the two here, Supra doing a 33.8 last lap and Levenspiel doing a 33.1. And Durag's actually on the medium tyre doing 33.3s and even a 32.8 on a medium tyre last lap. That's very impressive considering the fastest lap is a 32.5. So hang on there. And actually, Jobby's in a field of his own at the moment. He can see these three in front of him, and they as he just rides the grass there and gets a bit sketchy heading into turn 3. But if I was him, I'd be in a really, really happy mood at the moment because yes, you're in 4th position and there's people ahead of you, but theoretically they're meant to pit, so you should be able to get ahead of them. But
I've already forgotten who followed him into the pits because weren't they close?
So it was Jobby, M Sports, Big Rig Bowers, and Speed Racer, I'm pretty sure. Oh, ex-Big Rig. So it looks like a couple of them have broken up or split up throughout the mix.
Yeah, but was M Sports was one of the ones that pitted with
Oh, sorry, not M Sports, I meant Flux. They have the same livery.
Yeah. Why is he so far behind? Is there something that's happened?
Who's this?
Why is Flux so far behind? And Big Rig, like, has something happened in the pit stop? Maybe that.
Not sure. They weren't all side by side holding hands going in. There was a little bit of a delay. Speaking of pits, Supra's in. So Supra's in the pits, getting probably his last set of soft compound tyres. But look at all this. Look at all these cars that are just about to pass him. Literally P5 through to like P9, I think. So M Sports goes past, gets to P4, then Tex, Big Rig, Bowers.
If Jobby's doing a one stop, the guys in front haven't done enough.
Yeah, because you can see them, hey?
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, I think there's been moments like this in some of the races I've been in where you're sort of like in this middle, like this twilight zone in the middle of the race where you're not sure what's going on and when the strategies will converge, and you know heading into the race, okay, the one stop's faster, but then just sitting here and you're just out of reach of the victory with the laps closing down, you start second guessing yourself going, oh, was there another strategy that I didn't think of, or is this really the fastest one? Because there's actually been a handful of times where the 2 stop's been quicker than a 1 stop, so less time in the pits doesn't always necessarily mean that it's the better way of running things, but time will tell, we'll see. So essentially we've got like 3 battle packs and a few outliers, so we have Levenspiel and Durags in P1 and P2. It looks like Levenspiel's going around again, so is Durags. Jobby's sort of in a field of his own. Then we have M Sports P4, Tex P5, Bowers P6 would have been ahead of this entire group if not for that penalty. Big Rig P7, Speed Racer and Flux in P8 and 9 respectively, ex-Big Rig in P10. Supra coming out of his pit stop has dropped to P11, so there's a lot of work to do to get back in front, back towards the front. And then Badge actually, Badge is not too bad. So he had his issue with his incident, and you know, needed to take tyres and fuel and get repaired and things like that. And has only just come out behind a driver that was competing in the top 3. So as long as he keeps those laps nice and consistent, he should be able to finish a little bit further than the right at the back of the pack anyways. As he passes Big Rig anyways in the pits, so that's already a 1 position gain there. So I do want to keep onto this group with Tex, I think, and Bowers and stuff like that. Yeah, as I see them. See Tex looking to line up and move on M Sports here. We're even further back. I think Speed Racer and
both running the soft tyres.
Oh, okay, yep.
I think Tex might just play, if he's playing it smart here, wouldn't try and battle at this stage, given his fuel payload at the moment is running on empty, so he'd probably better off just trying to get the draft up this hill and into the pits rather than fighting.
Yep, looks like it. He's right tucked in there. He's actually his position on the outline, but then he has to go into the pits with M Sports, so they're going to be. I thought they would be a little bit closer heading on the exit of the pits, but with M Sports and that little bit of extra fuel, he'll probably jump out ahead there. So no issues there. But Bowers actually gains both their positions as a result, and knowing the Lexus and how good it is on fuel, he should be able to get in front and stay in front of them for the rest of the race there. So it'll be interesting to see where Bowers comes out. Behind them though, Speed Racer and Flux are jostling for position with ex-Big Rig not too far behind.
And the car where the fuel and tyre wear identical.
Obviously, I think over the longer course of the race, the Lexus will have a bit better fuel, so less fuel saving it needs to do.
Yes, I can already see Flux shifting even before the 50% rev range.
And as anticipated, as we were... Sorry, Josh, yes, it is G Pro Bowers, not Bowers. As expected, Badger's actually jumped M Sports and Tex in the pits here. But being on the medium tyre and maybe fuel saving as well, he may have a little bit of a battle on his hands to hold on to that position to the end there. There's actually our leaders are in, so this will be the point where... Oh, no, there's no denying it,
Yeah.
I mean, Jobby's already passed the start-finish straight, and Levenspiel and Durags haven't even hit their pit box yet.
So will Bowers also get this benefit as well?
Yep, he's through.
Seems like he's dropped off the back of Jobby a fair bit.
Yep, he's through there, so they're getting their tyres on now in the pits. Speed Racer's coming through on the main straight, has jumped them. Big Rig, ex-Big Rig that is, has come through as well, and Flux too, so... Yeah, the contenders towards the front that were arguably the fastest at the start of the race are now essentially sitting like P6 and P7, and looks like Supra might even get past them. This will be close. It's been sort of close most of the race. Supra coming through turn 1. He'll probably slot in. Slot in right behind them.
If he gets a run on here, these guys are already building up
Yeah, and being on the same compound tyre, they should be like in those positions. But what might work out well for Supra is if Levenspiel and Durag start battling each other, that'll just bring him into the picture a lot more clearly. But as expected, Jobby looks like he's done enough. I mean, the race is still not over yet. You need to keep the car pointing the right way and not cause any damage. So Jobby so far in P1, Bowers in P2 even with that 3-second penalty. Speed Racer P3 with Flux in P4. Flux is really close to
Bowers. That's where he lost the time. It wasn't a penalty, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah, he had the pit lane penalty. But I think even without that 3-second penalty, like, he still wouldn't be right on the tail of Jobby. Jobby just seems to...
Masterclass today.
Just have a masterclass going. Such a fascinating story with Jobby. You know, initially joined us and was in one of the lower ranked divisions of the development series. Absolutely gapped everyone there and essentially took a double step up to the top of the pro series. And now he's leading the front of the pack in round 2 of season 6. So he's obviously right where he needs to be.
Performed better than me with AMG last season.
So it just goes to show that it's not the car, it is the driver. Flux has lost a little bit of time there to Speed Racer, X-Big rigs, just keeping them inside there. I do like this livery actually. I think we'll do a quick whip around, because that just reminds me. We'll have a quick whip around, guys, and you let us know what is your favourite livery. So we have Jobby here in sort of a traditional sort of Ferrari Scuderia Academy style livery with the Maranello red, which is looking quite nice. We have G Pro Bowers drink in the Pennzoil Lexus RCF GT3. Geez, say that three times fast. Yeah. I like how this one, I assume, is a custom livery, so not based off anything in particular, but this is actually quite a nice livery. I love the use of fluoro colours in their liveries, especially last season as well. Speed Racer, I believe, it looks like sort of a Castrol style livery, but running the NRG Ignite team banner there. I am a big fan of Flux's one. Always love a good Bilstein livery.
That's it.
Works well on this car too, so yep, good choice from the Locked Hub Motorsports group. But yeah, as I was saying, this is my favourite. I'm going to cast my vote early here. X-Big Rig. I love the Martini livery, but I just love how the silver parts of the cars sort of have this pinkish, purplish hue, like this pearlescent hue as it moves through the light. It's chef's kiss. Mwah. Love it. That's my favourite. I'll call that. Levenspiel Durags in the naughty corner for not having combined liveries.
Can't read those ones, sorry.
That's okay. No, Durags!
No, Durags!
What's he doing there? He's going forward driving. Actually, Supra's going to get a good run on him there. Riding on board with Supra.
So if he defends it, he's going to let it go.
Got him good there. That's it.
He had to, if he's just about to get into a battle, just accept the defeat on that corner and carry on.
Durags is a little bit at 6s and 7. They're just sort of like hanging on. We got Supra in the McLaren Formula 1 style livery, I would assume. Representing it. Love it. Love the look. Go Oscar in tomorrow's race at Miami, fingers crossed. We've already seen the Locked Hub Motorsports livery, but we've got M Sports edition here. So same as Flux's from earlier. Badge in the Pepsi collar. Yep, in the Pepsi collar. Probably trying to defend rather than Texas would be making the move there. Yep.
Yep, sorry.
All good in the Pepsi Cola privateer livery. Just hanging on there for that 10th position. Tex in the Brazilian Special NRG Ignite livery. It's actually a nice little livery as well.
A bit there.
Just gives him a little tap to let him know he's there, but doesn't take advantage from the situation, stays behind, which is good. These guys have obviously raced with each other before and, understand the respect in the room that each other should give. We may just hang on to this for a little bit because, as you can see, Tex has got the inside heading onto the main straight. Badge probably knows that he's maybe trying to do a little bit of fuel saving or trying to save his tyres, but still running side by side. Technically, Badge does have the racing line here, and it is possible to take this corner around the outside if they brake too late and run too deep. Tries to switch under there.
Plays the spot.
Looks like Tex has done enough to get through here, so they both run wide actually, trying to maximise track limits there. So Tex holds on in front of Badge, and then we have the big rig as well. Last one. So Levenspiel's actually taking the fastest lap as well with 32.3. So guys, let us know what your favourite livery is. We went through them all and had a little bit of a look. I've obviously cast my vote. Anthony, what do you think?
Look, I think I do like the Bilstein.
Bilstein.
I think the Ferrari, when we were looking at Bowers or the pack behind
it's G Pro Bowers actually.
G Pro Bowers. When we were looking at those other cars and the Ferrari was off in the distance, it just looked awesome in the distance.
It's just that heritage, heritage,
That's racing heritage. I think, I'm going to go with Jobbies. It's simple. I usually like them a bit more complex than that, but I just think it's doing the right stuff.
Good shout. I'm still going to stick with X-Big Rig as my favourite. Not many people have cast their vote or shared their comment in the chat, so they've obviously had a few too many G Pro Bowers drinks so far and forgotten how to type, but feel free to let us know. I do like it, but some people are saying it's a pink DC likes the martini one. Not biased at all there, DC, of course. I believe you did you create that livery? I'm not too sure. A few people were saying
Texas Brazilian Special.
Yep, someone else said X Big Rig. DC is now saying that it's red. It's definitely a color, guys. It's definitely a color. Hold on, there's actually a little. I thought Reese Flux is still hanging on to the back of Speed Racer here. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Badge says the salmon car. You guys are just messing with me now, hey? Or, you know, it's like what colour is the dress sort of thing going on with the car. Yeah, it's obviously purple.
So Reese is actually carrying more fuel at this point in time than Speed Racer. So he must be managing his fuel better. I'm not sure if he could probably afford to step up a bit.
Oh,
but he's right on the back of Speed Racer now.
I'm riding on board with Flux. He's got a good run on Speed Racer. Let's see what he does here. So Speed Racer's holding the racing line, slowly drifting to the middle. Flux looks to the left, closes the door on him there, respectfully. And then, yeah, I just think the Lexus has better grip through those turns.
That was really good defensive driving there from Speed Racer.
Badge has asked who's in second. It's G Pro Bowers.
Drink.
No, we're gonna have so many people at the end of this stream like still got it open and just sleeping on the floor watching other stream. Razmaz is like, I'm drunk already. But we're actually towards the end of the race here. Got only 2 or 3 laps to go. I think Jobby's actually got 2 laps to go. Yep, just coming around. Specs likes the Pennzoil colours. I do like the colours, how they pop on the Pennzoil livery. Love a good, like, you know, the old Pennzoil livery on the GTR, but I do think the Black Shadow Racing team have some really cool retro sort of style liveries with bright colours, the sort of 80s, 90s styles, which are really nice. So yeah, shout out to them as well. As we spectate G Pro Bowers, just had to sneak another one in. Speed Racer and Flux still hanging on to one another, best friends. Who's behind them now? So Levenspiel has broken away from Durags and has now got his eyes set on X Big Rig in the maybe salmon, maybe red, maybe pink, maybe purple Lexus. Knowing that Levenspiel's on soft compound tyres, he should get past X Big Rig here, but he does only have 2 laps to do it.
I think there might be a bit of like, I guess Levenspiel is a very skilled driver. Not to take anything away from X Big Rig, but X Big Rig has just come from the lower levels.
Pro-Am.
Yes, so Levenspiel is a seasoned pro driver, not just in this league, in others. So
it's good to see X Big Rig though, not afraid to take on the challenge. We sort of forced his hand a bit with our admin privileges and moved him up into the pro division here, but he's definitely taken like a duck to water and proving his worth, you know, not necessarily just succumbing to the other drivers here. Levenspiel does get the job done though. As we just make our way back, because quickly the race will be over shortly. So Durags has actually gotten back ahead of Supra, and I just think it's those couple of laps that Supra went in earlier. The tyres were probably a bit more worn compared to Durags there, so Durags is ahead of Supra.
Yeah, Durags has better tyres at the moment. Supra's going to be struggling on those corner exits.
Yep. There's a few little battle packs still grouped together towards the end of this race, so it's really close. M Sports is in a world of his own. Tex has gotten that move done on Badge, and Badge is probably just focusing on keeping that position from Big Rig behind him. But as we make our way through to P1 on the grid, Jobby's just coming through or into Sector 2 at the moment, so he's got this one pretty much wrapped up and in the bag. G Pro Bowers is there in P2 hanging on. They've done a nice job there. Actually, shout out to Speed Racer here for constantly being under the pressure from Flux ever since that last stop, and, you know, just still holding his own and keeping position. Good shot. Good stuff, sorry, is what I meant to say there. Recent P4. Levenspiel trying to catch up to the front there. I don't think there's enough time there to catch up. Big Rig in the salmon pink red car, but we might just jump to the front. Jobby's coming down the main straight now. He picked
Just
the
want to
right.
say before we watch the finish, because Bowers has actually been cutting out some time.
So maybe not for that pit lane penalty. It could have been completely different. But well done, Jobby. Perfect strategy. Nice clean race. Well executed. Well done. G Pro Bowers coming through in P2. His first race representing the Logitech brand, and yes, he's must be really really happy with that. So good job, G Pro Bowers as well. Speed Race is just going to hold on here in front of Flux. I think there'll be some nice handshakes in the paddock there after that. So Speed Racer takes the last step on the podium, followed by Flux. Levenspiel going with the soft strategy, finishes P5. Big Rig in 6th, Durag 7th, Super in 8th. The other Locked Hub Motorsports driver of M Sports 180 coming through in P9. Tex, the Brazilian local, coming through to round out the top 10. And Badge doing a little bit of damage control there just to make sure he doesn't finish right at the back, coming through in P11, which then brings the big rig of Fatson Racing into P12 and
With a penalty.
And scrapes the barrier to boot. So that's the race there. So congratulations to all the Pro Series Pro Division drivers for it was actually like a really fun race. Usually this type of circuit and the way the strategies play out, especially in things like the World Series, like the official GT World Series and daily races, it sort of just becomes a procession where everyone pits at the same time and everyone goes out at the same time and, picks the same tyres, picks the same car. But I think, you know, the drivers on the track were exceptional. Special shout out again to Flux for cooking up an absolute feast of a race for everyone to watch and for those that participated and joined in from the development of the Pro Series as well. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that too.
Everybody finishing on the same lap is, I think, also just goes to show how much, or shows everybody just the effort that you and I go to, and Reese, of course, to make sure we get all these guys in the most competitive lobbies with each other.
Exactly right. Try to make sure that everyone has a balanced race, not necessarily like completely cakewalk everyone, but a balanced race where you're challenged, but there's also those opportunities there as well. Like for example, Josh just kindly pointed out on the stream, X Big Rig started from 12th, finished 6th. So it just goes to show like the types of divisions that we have and how it's not necessarily about pole position. That's a big reason why we just do one shot to make, to sort of set the grid and get everyone in the right spot. But working on the divisions, again, we mentioned this earlier in the stream, but all this wouldn't be possible without everyone that's supporting behind the scenes. So, obviously there's myself and Anthony, but behind us we've got a lot of people helping in different areas from like, race hosts and race directors, stewards, moderators, commentators, and everyone who chimes in and, offers to help out. We're more than happy to hear from you. So feel free to reach out to us through the Discord general chat. If you just say, hey, I'm happy to help, we can just DM you directly and kick off the conversation from there. All the people that go unnoticed behind the scenes, people like Badge and things like that, helping to run the practice academies. And, we're constantly reinventing things, constantly looking at trying to improve and make this the best place that everyone can enjoy their racing, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, or overseas. We've got people from all walks of life in all different countries, and the main thing that brings us all together here is just having fun, first and foremost, but also doing it in a way that's respectful and prioritizes sportsmanship above all else. So this is just one of the many things we do, the feature races, just to bring everyone together in more of a casual format and, just have a cheeky beer on a Sunday night or a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and just enjoy yourself and relax and switch off from whatever else is going on in the world right now. But thank you everyone for joining. I think we had a peak of like maybe 30 or 35 viewers, which is one of our strongest showings yet. So thank you all for tuning in. The next feature race will be in about, I want to say 2 weeks time or something like that. Hey, Random Racer tuned in right at the end there, but you can always watch the live stream back whenever you want. But good to hear from you, mate. Next feature race is in a couple of weeks' time, but we kick on to round 3 this week, which I believe is at Trial Mountain for this series in this division. Then we also have our, sprint series races. So if you're looking for a bit more of casual fun, that's where you go on Wednesday nights. And then we also have Assetto Corsa competition on Thursday nights as well. I might just actually quickly pull up the chat because I
Uh,
saw something that came
Also,
through.
do I am I wrong in saying that the guys have also the community races? There's going to be a Wreckfest.
Yes, there is a Wreckfest plan coming up. I'm not sure if that's going to be tomorrow or potentially on next Sunday, but we will be sharing that around if anyone that's interested as well. So just keep an eye out for that for anyone interested in a bit of like smash and grab sort of racing. Saw a comment come through from Angel Garcia. Hey mate, he says, I'm new and I don't know if you'll read this, but I have a question. How does one get into league racing? Well, if you want to join our league, which is Apex Point Racing League, just look us up. So if you type in Apex Point Racing League on Facebook, you can find our Facebook page where we post quite regularly and a link to our Discord. So our Discord is where we sort of run everything and everyone sort of joins in chats. We've got over 450 members, so you'll find a friend for sure in there. And once you join there, we'll
Just
get you set up.
check the description as well. There's also a link to the Discord in there. Did you? I'm not sure if you said that or
Oh,
not.
yes, good point. There is a link to the Discord if you just open the
And
if
now
you
Facebook.
Yeah, if you press the more button underneath the title of the race, you'll see there's links to our Discord and Facebook in there. So main thing is just get involved in the Discord, and then that'll help you. And I should have done this at the start. I feel really bad now. But hey guys, give us a like on the way out. We really do appreciate you all tuning into tonight's race, and any likes and subscriptions really go a long way. So thanks so much. But I think we call that a wrap tonight. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Snoopy, for another wonderful job, and thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys are great, best community.
Yeah,
You
thanks
make
guys.
sim racing what it is.
That's exactly right. We'll see you next time. See you on the track or see you in the live stream.
See you guys.